Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products we enjoy. Brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Inflation is hitting all Virginians hard, including farmers. We have a holiday hors d'oeuvre treat from the heart of the home. And Virginia growers raise some of your favorite holiday plants.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Welcome back to Real Virginia, everyone. We're coming to you this week from the Great Big Greenhouse in Chesterfield County. Food prices are busting everyone's budget as the calendar year comes to a close. Burke Mueller has more on how farmers and other agribusiness owners are coping with high production costs.
From farmers markets to big chain grocery stores, we're all paying more for our food. Everything costs more, even the basics. But that's not just limited to households. Farmers are also feeling the squeeze.
Craig Humphreys farms on 700 acres in Stafford County. Input costs have had a major impact on his bottom line.
The fuel and fertilizer really hurt us this year. We started to cut back on fertilizer and decided not to because it probably hurt us more in the long run. And fuel price, our fuel has more than doubled, so that's been tough.
Just like farmers, consumers are seeing their costs jump. The U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts grocery store food prices are expected to rise between 11 and 12% this year over the last. 6 food categories account for most of that, with egg prices expected to rise between 26.5 and 27.5% for this year.
One of the big issues is for eggs and poultry is highly pathogenic avian influenza, which is taking a hit on supplies here in the U.S. Another supply issue is that we've had drought across the country. That's led a lot of cattlemen to send their cows to slaughter, and those cows aren't having offspring. And now we're entering a phase of that where we've gone from beef being cheap because there's so many animals going to slaughter to beef being expensive because there aren't any animals left. Well, there's some left, obviously, but there are fewer animals left.
Hobie Bond represents Virginia poultry growers who are feeling the effects of higher costs as they try to meet demand.
The poultry industry certainly has not been immune to the record inflation that we've seen across the economy. And we've had higher input costs, fuel being one of the largest. Feed is our largest input cost, and that has been very volatile with the war in Ukraine. Labor costs, labor scarcity, packaging costs, you name it, across the board, costs are up.
Tammy Brawley of Richmond is a personal chef with many clients in Central Virginia. She also hosts the Heart of the Home cooking segments here on Real Virginia. With her livelihood directly tied to food costs, she's had to make a number of changes to the way she does business.
I have become very much more conscious of making my dollar go further, so to speak. When I buy a product, I want to make sure I use all of that product and don't waste any of it. When I deliver to my clients, I try to deliver on the certain areas on the same day. For instance, the West End might be Mondays and South Side would be Tuesdays. So yes, it's affected me quite a bit.
Another factor for higher prices in the U.S. is the tight labor market. In this environment, workers can demand higher wages, which in turn drives up the cost for businesses to produce their goods and services. International conflicts are also having an effect, particularly on the fertilizers farmers need to cultivate their crops.
Pretty much everything has gone up, especially like Roundup. That's outrageous. A lot of the chemicals have gone up. Pretty much everything we buy has gone up, some higher than others.
And there's so many things going on. We're living in a chaotic world. We have a war in Ukraine, which has cut off a lot of fertilizer supplies. It's cut off natural gas supplies to Europe, and the Europeans have stopped making as much nitrogen fertilizer as they were before, so they're just buying it from other places, and that's tightening up the market around the world. Belarus is one of the largest potash producers in the world, and we're not buying from them, so that's tightened up that market. That's a big problem. And of course, again, the fuel is more expensive, partly because of the disruption of supplies from Russia, but also because the economy recovery since COVID has led to big demand for all kinds of stuff.
The big question everyone wants an answer to is, when will inflation start to come down? While no one has a crystal ball, Morgan Stanley Research recently issued a report predicting food prices could begin to decline next year. They reason that farmers will have higher crop inventories, which will drive down prices. They also expect tensions to ease between Russia and Ukraine, putting more grain and fertilizer on the market. Morgan Stanley also predicts that the dry weather experienced by so many in 2022 will not be as bad in 2023. All things to hope for as the new year approaches. In Stafford County, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.
A major element of the current inflation problem is the higher price of petroleum products, particularly diesel fuel. As of early November 2022, the average price of a gallon of diesel fuel was $5.32, more than $1.50 a gallon higher than a year earlier. American Farm Bureau economists note that every bucket of seed and bag of fertilizer comes to the farm on a diesel truck, and every bushel of grain or head of cattle sold leaves on a diesel truck. The American Farm Bureau Federation has called on the Biden administration to do more to increase domestic production of diesel fuel.
I'm Mark Viette. What do you do with those beautiful waxed amaryllis when they're finished blooming? I'll tell you all about that, so stay with us.
We're stronger together, especially at this difficult time. For over 90 years, we've watched our membership grow, and we're honored to be part of such a special community. Thank you to the farmers who provide for us every day. Virginia Farm Bureau is proud to serve our members, their families, and to give back to our local communities. That's the Farm Bureau way.
Amaryllis bulbs make a popular holiday gift, and we'll learn more about them in just a moment. Mark Viette says one nice thing about these bulbs is that they can easily be replanted in the garden.
The popularity of the waxed amaryllis is increasing year after year. Most of them you're going to see for Christmas or certain holidays. They now have spring colors for the spring season. How do they achieve the waxed amaryllis? Well, first of all, you need to start, or some of the companies start, with a very large bulb. The bigger the bulb, the better the bloom. The bigger the bulb, the more stems with buds will come out of this giant bulb. Up to 3 stems, sometimes with 4 flowers each, sometimes with 6 flowers each. They'll bloom 9 to 7 weeks. What they do is they cut the roots off, then they put a cellophane wrap or a balloon around the bulb, and then they dip them in the wax. When they're finished blooming, many people just discard them, but a lot of people want to salvage them. So, first of all, a couple things. As they bloom, as the flowers, melt away, this one's finished, you can pull those off. When the whole stem is finished blooming, carefully take a sharp razor and remove the flowering stem. This, in fact, had 1 stem already, another stem here. This is a 3rd stem. When that's done, carefully you're going to come in, and the scissors will work, and you're going to cut down through the wax. Sometimes I cut in 2 sides. The cellophane is on the inside of the wax. You can see it shiny. And here's the bulb. When they finish blooming, they're going to start sending up growth. We're going to make believe on this one. I peeled the wax off, but after the last bloom, they start sending up foliage like this. You can even see it on this one here. This finished blooming maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, and you can see it sending up nice foliage. So we'll do this one here again. This is a nice silver one. Wax could be a little hard to remove. Just come through, remove the wax, and for giant bulbs, bulbs that are really big like this, you can put them in a slightly larger container, but I'm going to go ahead and take this smaller bulb. Amaryllis do not like a lot of water, and they don't need a lot of soil. So you're going to come in here, put a little bit of soil in the base. You probably want to see a little bit of the neck of the bulb showing. You might need to moisten the soil if the soil's dry. What you're going to do is just water this with a little bit of water. It's going to produce roots, and the foliage is going to get maybe up to 18 inches tall. You can put it outdoors in the summer. And the other option is you can take these bulbs and plant them right out in the garden. They're not always going to come back in cold climates. Here we can get down to 10 degrees, so we sometimes plant them a foot deep, and if it doesn't freeze, they come back every year. But I know people in Williamsburg, Poquoson, Virginia Beach, they put them outdoors, and they're probably going to plant them maybe 4 inches deep, and they've been coming back year after year for 8 years. So enjoy your amaryllis. You can save them. The one thing you do, end of September, you're going to take your bulb out of the pot, make believe there's roots here. You're going to trim the roots a little bit, and you're going to cut all the foliage back. End of September, and the foliage is going to be like this. You're going to dry this bulb for 2 months. Then you're going to put it back in the container, pot it. As soon as you water it, it's going to produce roots and stems, and it should flower again for you from the time you pot it, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley. Coming up on Heart of the Home, walnut and gorgonzola covered grapes. We hope you'll stay with us.
And now, a sneak peek into a day in the life of a Virginia dairy cow. They get their day started. They have some lunch. Get some exercise. Spend time with their friends. And then end their day with dairy sweet dreams. Real dairy, real life, real delicious.
Who doesn't love a holiday hors d'oeuvre? Chef Tammy Brawley shows us how to make her special bullseye grapes in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. I'm here today to show you a fabulous appetizer for your upcoming holiday parties. This is one of my favorite things. It's actually called walnut and gorgonzola covered grapes. I call them bullseyes, and you'll see why in just a couple of minutes. We're going to start out with a prep bowl, and we're going to add a little bit of cream cheese and a little bit of, in this case I have gorgonzola. You can use blue cheese, really any stinky cheese you'd like. I personally love gorgonzola. I love blue cheese as well. If you're not a fan of either one of those, there's no reason why you can't just use cream cheese. So we have both of the cheeses in the bowl that we've let set out for just a little bit to get soft, and we're going to mix it with a mixer, so it's going to get a little loud. You really don't want to do this on a high speed, because you will end up wearing it. So I'm just going to stop it every so often until we get it mixed up. And you can use a stand mixer if you'd like, or whatever you have handy. You can even mix it by hand if necessary, but this just does not take very long. It's coming together quite nicely. All right, I think we can pull that off now. Now I choose to wear gloves for this part of the process because it is quite messy, but it's up to you. So we're going to put on a few gloves here, or a glove on each hand I should say. I have some red seedless grapes here. I have used black globe grapes before. They make an excellent presentation as well, but you do definitely want seedless. So we're going to put our gloves on. Going to take a little bit of our cream cheese and gorgonzola mixture, put it in our hand. Then you want to grab one of the grapes, push it into the middle of the cheese mixture, totally encase the grape. You kind of want to make a ball, and you can determine whether or not you think it's too much. In this case, I do think I grabbed a little much. You're going to roll it like a ball, just like that. And then after you get done encasing the grapes in your cheese mixture, you want to put this in the refrigerator for just maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, just to kind of let it firm up a little bit. While it's in the refrigerator, I would take walnuts, and really your choice of nuts. In this case, it is walnuts. You can either buy them already ground, or you can buy them whole and crush them yourself. I put my nuts in the oven for about half an hour on 350. And trust me, it is a process that you would not want to walk away from. I have burnt a lot of nuts in my past, so you really want to make sure that you watch your timer on that. So what we have here are chopped walnuts, and we've got the ones that I let sit for a little while. Roll that around in the bowl. All we're doing is getting that nice and coated. You can pick it up then after you get it coated so it's not so messy on your hand. We'll do a couple of them, and then we'll show you what it looks like on your platter. It's delicious, but it's also beautiful. So another one we'll do. This is a big hit for my clients when I make it for them. It's an interesting flavor because of the sweetness of the grape and the saltiness of the gorgonzola, and then the nut just adds so much more to it. If you're not a walnut fan, use any nut you'd like. I think pecans would be really good with this. I even think pistachios would be really good with this. We'll do one more. After you've rolled them in the chopped nuts, you can put them back in the refrigerator for a little while before your party starts, and then platter them right before your party. So I think we've got a nice little combination here. I'm going to go ahead and move things out of the way so you can watch it being cut. So we're going to cut them in half, and you'll see why I call them bullseyes. There we go. We have the grape cut in half, totally encased in the stinky cheese, as I call it, and the cream cheese, rolled in the toasted walnuts. A new and interesting appetizer, I hope, for you, for your holiday parties. I'm Tammy Brawley with The Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.
Grapes are a popular Virginia fruit, with almost 5,000 acres of grapes planted on 688 farms a few years ago. But most of these grapes are being raised for wine production. Table grapes are also raised in Virginia, but mostly in backyards or home gardens. More than 6 million tons of table grapes were raised in the United States in 2021, and the vast majority of them were produced in California. Grapes are the third most popular fruit among American consumers. 85% of table grape buyers say they snack on them, while 1/3 of shoppers also use grapes as a dessert.
If you're looking for a beautiful plant as a holiday gift, Virginia growers have plenty of choices for you. Norm Hyde visits with 2 growers who raise some of the most popular products this time of year.
Poinsettias were introduced to the American public from Mexico back in 1825, when John Roberts Poinsett, the first appointed U.S. ambassador to Mexico, saw them on display and sent some back to his home in South Carolina. Today, poinsettias are grown and displayed as holiday decorations around the world, and thousands of them are raised right here in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley.
Hands down, #1 seller is the classic red. It's just the timeless staple. It just brings the festivities into your home. But what's really cool and exciting is there's always new varieties being created and trialed. There's everything from red glitter, which is a speckled leaf, to marin, which is a salmon color. There's pinks and whites, and then they have some really fun, neat ones that come out, like there's a Christmas mouse. Instead of the pointed leaf, it is a rounded edge leaf, so it looks like little mouse ears. And so there's always something new being developed.
Maggie Edwards grew up playing in the first hobby greenhouse her parents used to start a retail business. Now it's a wholesale operation that's part of the family farm's diversified portfolio of row crops, poultry, and greenhouse plants. The poinsettias fit in perfectly because they're started in the greenhouse in the summer when spring annual transplants are finished. The tropical plants love the warm Virginia summers, and they mature just in time for the holiday season.
The poinsettias, they will not start changing color till the day length shortens and they get more nighttime. And so to get them to be as big as they are, you have to start them back in July to get them to size up to where you want before they start coloring. Once they start coloring, the growth vertically slows down. Versus, so a poinsettia that's about 4-month crop versus a spring crop, traditionally, a petunia or a geranium is a 6 to 8 week crop.
Crosby Crest Farm is outside of Stanton, where both Interstates 64 and 81 are nearby to make it easy to ship to their customers. Edwards says most of their buyers are independent garden centers that want a premium product. Less than 15 minutes drive away is another holiday plant producer. But Bloommaker USA is an international business that imports their most popular holiday plant from Peru.
Amaryllis has been around for thousands of years and it is a beautiful holiday gift. We like to wax it so that it has no care necessary. It makes it a gift for even someone who has no green thumb. There are 2 stems, so you enjoy it beyond the Christmas holiday. You'll start with 1 stem, and then you'll get another stem, and then possibly 3. So it's a gift that you can enjoy for several weeks.
And once the bulbs are fully grown in Peru, they're being prepared, they're being washed, dried, and the cold treatment starts. Then they're being shipped to Virginia on a boat, and they come here at Bloommaker. And from that point on, we keep growing them, we package them, we prepare them to make them bloom for the holidays, just like these.
Giant amaryllis bulbs kick off the sale season for Bloommakers every year, followed by tulips, hyacinths, and daffodils in the spring. Only the giant amaryllis bulbs are imported, the other bulbs are raised locally. As you might expect with an imported product, supply chain issues have been a problem, but they're adapting.
Bloommaker has had a long time relationship with a USA glass manufacturer, so when our amaryllis are not waxed, you may also find them in vase containers that Bloommaker has in retailers with pumice, which is a hydroponic method for growing the amaryllis. We also have sourced packaging locally. Our corrugate is manufactured in Virginia, and we also have wax in the USA.
The greenhouse industry is one of the top 10 sectors of Virginia's farm economy, and decorative plants are big business. Bloommaker is the largest importer of amaryllis bulbs in North America, and they expect to ship 2 million amaryllis bulbs this holiday season. Edwards says poinsettias are also big business for greenhouse operators like herself.
In 2020, the USDA did a report that noted poinsettia sales are $157 million worth in sales. And Virginia actually ranks in the top 5 for poinsettia producers. So it's pretty great to be able to say that we're in the top 5 for the entire nation.
We decided to grow these bulbs here in Shenandoah Valley because of the climate. It's great weather, it's sunny winters, but also the water is really good. We have good access to water and logistics. With the interstates running really nearby, we can access a big part of the United States within a day or 2.
But while there can be a lot of money involved, growing greenhouse plants for the holidays can also be fun.
So with poinsettias, you get to see everything in bloom all at once, and it's just a very festive place to be. It kind of just gets you in the mood and in the season, and it's just nice to be shipping it out to all our customers across Virginia.
In Augusta County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde reporting.
We're so glad you could join us this week to celebrate all the bounty Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our beautiful wide open spaces, we are proud to say that this is Real Virginia. For everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Thank you so much, farmers, for providing all our food to help us survive. Thank you, farmers.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you farmers out there. We really appreciate all of your hard work. I know you have one of the hardest jobs in America, and I just want to say thank you with a heartfelt thanks.
I'd like to say thank you to all the farmers that put in hard work for the people that go to grocery stores and get common things like milk, eggs. Commonly, we don't really think about the farmers like that when we do those things, but me personally, I like to take appreciation towards them for their hard work and the labor they put towards their work. Thank you, farmers.
There are 30,000 roadway accidents each year involving cars and farm machinery. Farmers will be moving equipment for planting and harvest season. The slow-moving vehicle triangle in red and fluorescent orange colors and flashing lights allow for quick identification. When you see an SMV sign on farm equipment, slow down, prepare for sudden stops and slow turns.
Patience will save lives. Just remember, we all need to share the road, we all need to be responsible, and we need to be guided by the law.
Motor vehicle safety starts with you.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.